It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building, and this is your Dominick fucking Cruz versus Marlon Vera breakdown. The card isn't the greatest, but this fucking fight sells itself. Dominick Cruz fights are fucking necessary to watch if you're an MMA fan, and Marlon Vera has become almost a really must-watch fighter. No matter how you feel about the guy, he is a fun fighter to watch. And this is going to be a fucking good scrap. We're going to see if Marlon is that guy that some people think he is, or can Mr. Dominick Cruz do it once again and prove time wrong, and prove injuries wrong, and prove the naysayers wrong? And can he go and push for another title shot or potential title run? This is a weird fight, but I feel like if Dominick wins this, he's in a good spot. If Marlon wins this, he's in a really awesome spot. He just beat a legit name. Obviously, he's beating Frankie, who's legit. But, Frankie wasn't on a win streak, so some people don't really respect it. This is a Dominick Cruz who's on a 2-fight win streak. I know he's older, but still seems like he has something left in the tank. He wins this, people might start taking Marlon Vera seriously, real talk. And I love this fight, man. Dominick hasn't really talked as much as he likes to. He loves to talk that mess. But Marlon Vera has been chirping. He's been talking mess. He's been saying this and that. He's been calling my boy Dominick Cruz out his name. We're gonna see if he can back that up. Calling him a bitch and everything. And it is what it is. And if you want to see the clip, here's the clip. But yeah, enjoy it.
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. So I'm not really. I will say something, but I will usually speak my mind.
Did you see Dominick talking about the fight on the broadcast when they officially announced it a couple of weeks ago, and he was kind of talking about you a little bit? Did you see that?
Yeah, I was watching the fight, and I can see a little bit of a little bitch in him. Like he was like, "Oh, there's a beef. I don't know where the beef comes." There's no beef. I can give two fucks about him, but I got the fight offer.
Saw the clip, and he's been chirping. But yeah, he can chirp, he can talk. But it is what it is. But let's get to the stats, though. Let's get to the actual rankings, though. Let's see where these guys are ranked in the bantamweight rankings. Mr. Marlon Vera is number 5, and Dominick Cruz is number 8. So this is going to be a good fight for Dominick to get back in the top 5. Cheeto comes with a record of 21-7. Is fighting out of California, age 29, a height of 5'8", and a reach of 70.5. Dominick the Dominator Cruz, record of 24-3, is fighting out of San Diego, California. He is defending home court in this fight, age 37, a height of 5'8", and a reach of 68. So some things I look at are interesting that are going into this matchup. So the length does go to Vera, which I didn't expect. I thought Dominick might have been the longer guy. But yeah, man, it is what it is at the end of the day. Cheeto, he is the younger guy, so there's a few things going into his advantage. Cheeto actually has more fights than Dominick, but Dominick has more winning experience. And he has more experience in high-profile fights, main event fights, 5-round fights, and championship fights. And that's experience that you cannot buy. That is something you have to go through, and it is something that Marlon Vera doesn't understand. Dominick, he has a winner's mentality, and he knows how to win fights. Even when he's knocked down, he's done. He always tries to find a way to win. Not saying Marlon Vera doesn't, but Dominick, he just has that will of a champion, and that's something that Marlon Vera has never been. I love the fight, though. It's a really good scrap. But in terms of the physical and athletic, and I guess youth advantages, you'd have to go with Marlon Vera here. I was actually kind of surprised by the length. That actually shocked me. But I still think Dominick's championship experience is something to be respected. That is something to look at because, maybe it took something out of him, you could say. But I think that's something to look at and respect. But obviously, I did a film study. You already know. I had to do a Dominick Cruz film study because you never know if this might be his last fight. So I had to do it for the homies. But this is a great, phenomenal fight. And I did a 3-fight film study. Their most recent fight and 2 fights where I felt like they fought similar opponents where they did well against or they did bad against. Now let's talk about Cheeto Vera. So let's talk about the Jose Aldo fight. Now, there's not a lot of similarities between Aldo and Dominick Cruz, besides the fact that everyone wants to see them fight. But Aldo, he is a more well-rounded fighter like Dominic. He can wrestle and he can strike. And we saw in this fight where it was even in the strikes in rounds 1 and 2. Aldo had his moments in the first round, right? Landing beautiful body shots, just chipping at Marlon. But we all know how tough Cheeto is, and he withstand, and he actually won the second round, and it was 1-1. But we saw the fight IQ, the again championship experience, the championship medal, almost the veteran mentality, fight IQ to go take that fight. Jose Aldo made a decision in that third round. Well, not his decision, but his coaches made a decision. They asked him, "Do you think you can take this guy down?" And he was like, "Maybe, probably, yeah." I think he said yeah. Actually, I don't think he said maybe, but he probably said yeah. And he went for it. He got his back. I thought it was so beautiful looking on how Aldo got his back, because Cheeto rushed him actually, and it gave Aldo the free underhook, got the back. And just seeing how the way Aldo broke him down, he got a mat return basically from the back position, was able to put him down, then got the hooks in. Cheeto tried, my bad, y'all. He tried to get out the way, not to get out the way, shake him off. And Aldo was able to break that down, break the legs down, and basically get his back for the remainder of the round, and ended up winning a 29-28 decision. And that's just fight IQ. Again, I say it over and over again, something you can't buy. And Marlon learned a lesson from a veteran that you can't fucking buy, is that fight IQ is so important. And when things are dicey, you have to go to your other skill sets. And he learned from that fight. He really did. And he might have got better, but I don't know if he got initially better, but I could tell ever since the Aldo fight, he seems like he has more of a killer instinct. He's always had a good killer instinct, but it seems like he's been working more on not losing crucial rounds he needs, Usually Marlon is that guy that wins the third round, and against Aldo, he could not do it. And yeah, it was a bad look for him. He ended up winning against Davey Grant, and then he fought Frankie Edgar, and that was a fight that I looked at. Frankie's so similar to Dominic in a lot of ways. Obviously, the backgrounds, they both start off as wrestlers. They both are guys that mix it up well. Dominic has his own different style of boxing and footwork. It's his own style. Frankie is more of, I would call, a technical version of Dominic, basically, where Frankie is more of a technical boxer. He does everything from a technical standpoint, and he throws straight shots. He does get caught, and he's a lot older when he fought Cheeto, but he did really good in this fight. I thought he left a good account for himself, and looking how Cheeto has developed to be the number 5 bantamweight in the world, it doesn't look like that bad of a loss like it was before. But Frankie won the first round. He got the takedown. He was looking really good in that fight. He got multiple takedowns, like just on and on and on. And then, yeah, man, I was just really, really impressed by Frankie going into that second round. I was like, maybe, yeah, Frankie's going to take this fight. I think he's just going to hump Cheeto, and Cheeto's just going to accept it. I know Cheeto was landing stuff from his back, but it wasn't enough, and I think Cheeto even realized that it wasn't enough. And then he started defending takedowns in that later round, in the later second round, started landing shots. And then in that the end of the second round, the whole entire mood changes. And this is when, I'm not going to lie, I become biased and I start hating Marlon Cheeto Vera. He ends up flipping off my guy, Frankie Edgar. I love Frankie Edgar and Dominick Cruz. Now, obviously, I love Frankie a little more than Dominic, because that was one of the first fighters I ever saw fight. And he kind of introduced me to MMA. So I got a really deep love for Frankie, and I hated seeing that fucking Ecuadorian clown flip him off. But hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. It's trash talk. I'm a Frankie fan, so sorry for the response, Cheeto. But but yeah, he flips him off. They go into that third round, and he backs up the trash talk and fucking front kick KOs Frankie Edgar in MSG in his hometown. So respect to him there. He got the W. It was a good win for him. I thought he was trailing a little bit. It was 1-1 going into that third round, but it fucking sucks seeing Frankie go out like that. That hurt my heart. And yeah, Frankie doesn't deserve to go out like that, especially to get flipped off and then get hit with a front kick. That was like salt to the wound. But hey, what can you do? You got to move on. And Cheeto ended up getting the victory here, and he moved on and ended up fighting Rob Font. And y'all saw my breakdown. I was 110,000% sure Rob Font was going to beat him. I didn't care that if Rob Font had missed weight, and that might have played a factor in why this fight looked like the way it looked. But I was 1,000% sure Rob was going to teach this guy how to box and dip out. And oh my fucking God, Rob, it's a weird fight because I want to give Cheeto his respect, real talk, because it's a Cheeto masterclass, right? It is a masterclass. It's the greatest performance of his career. I don't think he'll ever top what he did against Rob Font. But at the same time, Rob Font did good in the fight. Like it was like the same thing with the Jose Aldo fight with Rob Font. He had moments, but he kept getting dropped, and it was weird. The first round, Rob was lighting Cheeto up, attacking the body hook with the rear hand, the uppercut through the shell, through not even the shell, my bad, through the guard of Marlon Vera. He was lighting him up with the jab and just doing phenomenal stuff. In the second round, he was again dominating. He caught a front kick, fucking let it go, and without the disengage, he hit the fucking elbow. He was hitting beautiful shots. His Muay Thai actually looked really good. He was landing beautiful jabs, twos, and then in the clinch hits a knee. He looked really good in this fight. And then at the end of the fucking round, he gets caught with the hook. And that's going to be the theme of the rest of this fight, is that it's Rob Font's output versus Cheeto's fucking ability to capitalize on crucial moments in rounds. Like, you can throw the whole entire kitchen sink at me, but you throw everything at me, something's going to come back, and you have to be defensively responsible. And that's what I love about this fight, because it's such a great lesson for a lot of young fighters that defense is so important. And I'm not saying Rob Font has bad defense. I wouldn't say he has bad defense, but I wouldn't say he has good defense. He got caught by too many punches at the end of his combos that he would throw. So he'd throw 1-1-2, or if he would throw a jab to the head, jab to the body, then cross to the head. And it almost like he would leave the low hand down and get caught with the lead hook, get caught with a knee, or get caught with a fucking basically sweet chin music. Sweet chin music from Shawn Michaels. And that was what happened in this fight, man. He got clipped, man. He got clipped. Don't get it twisted. He was able to land takedowns. He landed a takedown against Cheeto, which is a theme in Cheeto's fights, right? These last 3 fights that I talked about, Cheeto has been taken down. And yeah, it was a bad look for him to get taken down by Rob Font. Rob is a decent guy, but after that, Cheeto lands one wicked fucking killer knee, I think in the 4th or 3rd round. It was just like debilitating to watch Rob go out like that. I was just fucking sick to my stomach seeing that. I thought it was over. There's so many moments where Cheeto could have finished. Then in the 4th round, he hits a crane kick, which probably one of the better knockdowns of the year, and I was just in shock. And he even hits it again actually in the 5th round, and it's just fucking nuts, man, what happened in this fight. Cheeto looked amazing, and kudos to him. It was just he had low output in this fight no matter what, and obviously I wouldn't say he's a low output fighter, but Rob Font's output was just so high, so it made Cheeto's look kind of low. But Cheeto's ability to counterpunch and capitalize on, I'm sorry, but defensive deficiencies in Rob Font's game was fucking spectacular. And I liked what Cheeto did in there. It was a lot of like Yoel Romero stuff too. Like Yoel kind of does that, where he'll wait and he'll just analyze you and just wait and then land, and then catch you. Peter Yan does it. It was kind of beautiful. And Rob, man, he fought good. That's the fucking thing that sucks about that fight, is that he had a good performance, kind of. He didn't have a good performance, but he fought his ass off, and everything people are going to remember is his fucking face after the fight, because his face was man, it was horrible, man. I felt so bad for him after the fight. I felt so bad for his girl to see him like that, but I mean, it is what it is. It's the fight game, and without that, we wouldn't have fights. So hey, you can't be mad about it. But yeah, that sucked. And Cheeto just was, man, he proved me wrong that day. I ate a lot of humble pie. I felt it. But after that, he gets his fight with Dominick Cruz. And now we're to Dominick Cruz, and we look at the fights that Dominick competed in that really gets Dominick ready for a guy like Chito Vera. And some of the fights that I looked at the Cejudo fight, right? Because even though Cejudo and Marlon are completely different, one's an all-time great, two-time champ, GOAT, and the other dude's just some dude from Ecuador. But what Cejudo did in that fight should be watched over and over and over again, because that, to me, is more of a blueprint to follow to beat Dominick than the Cody Garbrandt thing. What Cody Garbrandt did, I think Cody Garbrandt can only do that. You know, and I know some people hate on that performance now because of Cody's recent loss history, but what Cejudo, you know, he got a takedown in the first round, but really what is so important for Chito to look at are the calf kicks, are the leg kicks, chopping him down. The footwork is a problem. And I know, you know, it's not easy to kick his legs like Pedro Munoz tried it, right? It's not the easiest thing in the world, but if you can find it, and you can find it multiple times, man, he's more of a stationary target than you think he is, because Cejudo was able to corner him and land that vicious knee because of those leg kicks. It wasn't because, oh, he landed a knee. No. If he never landed those leg kicks, fucking Dominick wouldn't be in the corner bobbing and weaving to get hit with that knee. All those things got set up. That moment, that knockout got set up with those kicks. And that's something that Chito's going to really have to look at, because I don't think he's going to be able to, in at least the first 2 rounds, I don't think he's going to be able to keep up with Dom with the hands. Even though he is the longer fighter, he's going to have to chip at Dom. He's going to have to break them fucking calves, and he's going to have to leg kick spam his fucking ass off. And that's what Cejudo did. He did it, and that's what ended up landing to the knee. And I know it's controversial. I know a lot of people talk about it and they complain about it. I didn't complain about it. I was actually one of the only few Dominick Cruz fans that didn't have a problem with the finish. Even though it's fuck Keith Peterson, but I didn't have a problem with the finish. I actually didn't think it was a bad stoppage, but yeah, it is what it is. What can you do at the end of the day? Dom got caught. Cejudo's an all-time great. There was a lot of circumstances going into that fight. First fucking UFC fight. No, not fight night. Pay-per-view in the COVID era. The training camps were weird. You know, just a lot of bullshit. But yeah. But let's talk about another fight where I felt like Dominick Cruz fucking completely shined. And it's against TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw's a friend of Marlon Vera. So you already know their styles are pretty similar. Obviously, TJ has his own footwork, and he's not much of a stationary target like Chito, but he possesses what Chito has. His ability to capitalize on crucial moments. His cardio. I wouldn't say, obviously TJ's a better wrestler, but the power that they both have. Both guys can hit hard, kinda. And Marlon's not much of a knockout artist, but he does have pop, and both those guys have pop. And yeah, they're very similar in terms of the threats they can possess to Dom. And Dom, this was a Dom masterclass. I know some of you guys are fucking in denial about this fucking fight. You guys want to fucking tell yourself that Dom lost? Well, go rewatch it, because, man, I love this fight. I love rewatching it because it brings back the fucking memories. Because if you were an old school Dominick Cruz fan, and you were there during the Renan Barão championship reign, you knew the talk these clowns were saying. Because Renan Barão, new kid on the block, they wanted to make him the big dog, right? And then after TJ ended all that nonsense, they wanted to make TJ the big dog. And they thought they were funny. They just put Dominick Cruz in there just to fucking lose, huh? You thought fucking Dominick Cruz was going to go there, lay down to this fucking snake boy, right? And lose. Nah, Dominick had other plans, and he fucking taught TJ Dillashaw about fucking defense, wrestling. Man, that was crazy because all the wrestling talk, oh man, TJ's such a better wrestler than him based on resume. Yeah, fucking D1 versus D3, and we saw how it fucking ended, right? And it's one of those fights where it's like, it's inspirational. Because, man, he came back off of that layoff and just proved so many fucking people wrong and exposed Dillashaw, right? And he looked amazing, man. His defense was on point. He didn't fucking get hit in that fight. He fucking did not get hit. He made TJ for the first 3 rounds look stupid. And that's a fucking fact. He made him look dumb. He was able to get takedowns on takedowns on takedowns. He just... Man, like I know TJ got up really fast, but still, that's impressive. No one really does that to Dillashaw but Dominick fucking Cruz. And this was a prime, well, not a prime Cruz, but this was a more prime version of Cruz than what we got now. And this was a masterclass. This is how you teach a high-level fighter a lesson, and he taught TJ a fucking lesson in this fight. He also was able to outstrike TJ. You look at TJ's face, he was lumped up after the fight. You look at Dom's face, Dom had some injuries, don't get it twisted. His leg got hurt, but Dom's face was clean. His face was lumped up. And Dom, they hate on Dom and they say Dom got pillow fist, but man, he was lighting TJ up, man, in certain moments and landing these crazy hooks from different awkward angles, and he got TJ. In the championship rounds, I did give it to I gave it to TJ. He landed some good leg kicks. He actually hurt Cruz at one point, so he had his moments, but I thought it was a clear Dominick Cruz 48-47 win. You could even debate even 49-46, but I'm gonna be nice and not make all the TJ fans fucking cry on here. But yeah, it was a masterclass, and I love watching this shit because everyone in high school, back in the day, was just talking all this mess about TJ. And man, there's something about boxing where just the underdog just prevails. You saw with Stipe versus Ngannou, right? And then obviously TJ and fucking Dom, and it was beautiful. It was an awesome story, and man, it's something that should be celebrated a lot more. Some people just try to like, oh, it was a great fight. Nah, it was a motivational piece. I'll just say it like that. And then yeah, let's talk about Dom's most recent fight, Pedro Munoz. I thought we saw a lot of great stuff from Dom, and then we saw some bad stuff. So let's talk about the bad stuff first. He got caught with a beautiful shot from Pedro, a split 2 cross right down the middle, caught him lacking, and had him fucking almost dead in that first round. Then he gets a second knockdown against the cage, landing beautiful shots. But after that, Dominick was able to overcome. Now, here's another thing that I want to point out that's bad. Now, Dom, in his TJ Dillashaw fight, he could wrestle his fucking ass off. Now, lately, he's had a hard time getting takedowns. Against Casey Kenny, he had a hard time getting takedowns. He got one in the 3rd round, right? But against Pedro, he wasn't able to get a takedown. I understand Pedro is a really, really good jiu-jitsu practitioner, but still, Dom was going for takedowns and they were getting stuffed. And Pedro did a good job of stuffing a lot of his takedowns. But besides that, the masterclass that fucking Dominick put on in the next 2 rounds was fucking spectacular. They are awkward punches and they look weird sometimes, but man, was he lighting Pedro up, and he just was on Pedro. The jab, the hooks, the knees in the clinch, he just was on him. Everything he did, the 1-2 that he landed in that 3rd round was beautiful. It was a spectacular offensive performance of output, boxing, and overall real talk, some Muay Thai IQ from fucking Dominick Cruz. He didn't get hit by any leg kicks, and he was really good in the clinch. He even threw his own leg kicks, and he just was on Pedro, and it was just phenomenal. We saw, in the great words of Joe Rogan, vintage Dominick Cruz, and it was a great fucking performance by him. And now we're here, and he's fighting Marlon Vera in San Diego on a Saturday. Obviously, they'll all be on Saturday, and it's going to be a fucking great fight. I feel like, let's talk about the paths of victory right now. Let's talk about Marlon Vera. I think it's a simple path for him. He has the leg kicks, he has the power, and he has the takedown defense, right? If he can catch Dominick lacking with a knee, a hook, something, maybe even some sweet chin music, right? He can win this fight. Dom's wrestling isn't as good as it used to be, and he might not have to worry about so many takedowns, and he might be able to get a stoppage victory or maybe get a decision victory over Cruz. He has great cardio, and he does good in the championship rounds, and maybe the cardio can cancel each other out, and maybe just the youth and the length and the athleticism of Marlon Vera might win it. But the problem is, this is fucking Dominick Cruz, Mr. Cheeto, alright? This is the fucking Dominator. We done been in championship fights, alright? You were in the O2 Arena getting beat by Davey fucking Grant. Alright, some of y'all don't know that. Y'all think, oh, he beat Davey Grant. Nah, that was a 1-on-1 series. Just gonna say it. And there are fucking levels to this game. I know Dominick Cruz is fucking 37, but man, he don't lose in these kind of fights. I'm just gonna say it. Unless you're a fucking champion or unless it's a title fight, he don't fucking lose, and he ain't gonna make a fucking trend today. Alright? Cheeto, you ain't the one, you never been the one. You just a dude from Ecuador that's there to lose to Dominick fucking Cruz. Alright? All that talk, call my boy out his name, alright. And all that stuff with Frankie Edgar after that second round, alright. There's a price to pay, and it will be fucking paid in San Diego, and you will be dealt with and dominated by Mr. Dominick Cruz. Dominick, he's gonna stop this. He's gonna stop. You had a nice run, but we're not fucking Rob Font. Alright? We are fucking back. Alright, Dominick Cruz fanboys, I want you to listen to, we are fucking back. And some fucking Marlon Cheesy Cheeto Vera ain't gonna be the reason we're fucking done. Okay? So, Dominick Cruz all day, he can get the takedowns. I know I said his wrestling has somewhat decreased in my opinion, but Marlon gives fucking free takedowns. He gets taken down by a fucking fly if they fucking could try, right? And it's fucking easy. Dom, his striking, even though he is dealing with a reach disadvantage, his in and out movement will be too much for Marlon Vera. He will confuse Vera, and I think he wins a 3-2 decision in San Diego, his hometown, his home turf, home court fucking advantage. I know it might not exist in MMA, but fuck it, we'll say it does. And he will defeat Mr. Cheeto Boy, Marlon Vera. Ecuador, sit down, you will cry. And hey, California owns y'all. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Love y'all and goodbye. Go follow me on my Twitter and my Instagram. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing. Love y'all and goodbye. And we Team Cruz in this bitch. You're lucky I'm not in San Diego, but it is what it is. See y'all.
That's a nice suit, though. He thought he was winning.